Andor Episode 4 has arrived. With the latest episode, the series has got a new sense of momentum as we follow more of Cassian Andor's story in the Star Wars universe. We're also catching up with Mon Mothma and seeing Coursucant once again, a world we've not seen in the Star Wars universe for some time now. Additionally, finally, we're seeing the Imperial Security Bureau Headquarters. That's exciting. All this and more in our review of Andor Episode 4. Spoiler warning. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Before we dive into our Andor review for today, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video from myself and the team here at Star Wars Now. Don't forget, if you want to tweet us something on social media, all our links are down below in the video description. Oh, and let us know what you think in the video comment section as well. Anyway, let's go. Now, when it was originally said Andor would not have Easter eggs, well, that was a big lie, because this episode was filled with references to previous Star Wars media in an amazing way. We'll have dedicated videos on specific topics, but Andor has dropped a few big names. Also, you can spot some Easter eggs in the background. There was one that got us some of us very excited, but can you tell us which one it was? Comment down below. This episode was very much the beginning of a new act for Andor. We had Act 1 of the first 3 episodes, and now Act 2 has begun, introducing many new characters and a new storyline for Cassian. So let's talk about Cassian. To begin with, the episode does have a fantastic job of essentially having Cassian entering the rebellion, or at least this form of the rebellion. At the exact moment, it's kind of the same as Jyn Erso in Rogue One in a sense. Jyn was also, I don't care about fighting the Empire, I'm just going to pull my cons and live and let loose. Which is not a bad way to go. And this use of having Cassian do the exact same thing, i.e. not caring about fighting the Empire, but being roped in by someone in the rebellion to do a mission, just adds to Rogue One even more. Cassian is initially angry at Jyn for her attitude, now because he probably sees himself in her. We're seeing this character build up in front of us. More on Cassian later on the Aldhani mission in just a bit. I have to say, Stellan Skarsgård already did an amazing job playing Luthen Rael in the last couple of episodes, but he puts it to another level in this episode. Not only is Skarsgård a fantastic actor, but so is Luthen. Seeing Luthen get into the Coursucant antique dealer outfit, his taupe outfit, accessories, and he can just flip a switch and become his cover identity is truly amazing to see. Also a testament to Skarsgård's acting ability. With Luthen, we know he'll be prominent in the upcoming episodes. Hopefully he also survives into the second season of Andor as well. I would just like to learn more about the character, specifically why he's chosen to lead this double life. Maybe he also has a personal vendetta against the Galactic Empire. He does seem to collect artifacts. Perhaps he does not like the way the Empire treats history. I'm sure Palpatine will not be happy with him. But not only are Stellan Skarsgård and Luthen Rael great actors in a sense, but we have Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma as well. We see the same from her flip of a switch to change from rebellion leader to senator in an instant. Mothma is another character to watch, especially as she drops her world building guise of being watched herself. People might be cracking on to what is going on in her world, and a few hints in this episode might point in that way as well. The episode does give us some of the best looks at Coursucant we have ever seen, and even if this wasn't the case, just seeing Coursucant again in this episode was amazing. Kind of felt like coming home for all of us who grew up with the prequels. From a set design perspective, some of these Coursucant scenes were amazing, with Luthen Rael's antiquity shop with even a little Starkiller helmet in the background, as well as other items of interest such as a Twi'lek Kalikori, a Gungan shield, and even a whip frozen in carbonite, which must be an Indiana Jones reference. I mean, come on now. Then again, it could be those slave traders, the Zygerian ones. Maybe it's that. I've just thought of this while recording, so you can see how much of a big nerd I am. One of the most glamorous locations would, of course, be Mon Mothma's apartment. This just exudes luxury and sells where Mothma is on the social ladder of Coruscant. But talking of Mon Mothma and her apartment, I never imagined her husband to be like that. He's a bit of a jerk. He's inviting the people who hate his wife to a dinner party because they're fun to hang out with. Well, I guess this does make it canon that Sly Moore is a hoot at dinner parties, which I was not expecting. Let's be honest, is this guy going to survive? Most likely not. Well, with his current introduction, a happy accident would be a pleasant surprise. Well, let's see what actually happens to him with the actual upcoming episodes, but hopefully he might go away. We see the aftermath of last week's episode, mainly what happened to the total failure that was Imperial Security's job to capture Cassian Andor, and control the situation on Ferrix. It would appear that it was a total failure, and what the Chief Inspector warned would happen, has happened. The Emperor has moved in and to take over Imperial Security and chuck out the workers. Syril Khan is present in this episode, but not for very long. It's an odd amount of time to have him here. Obviously the series needed to show the aftermath, especially with it being mentioned during the ISB meeting. However, I would have liked to spend more time with the character, but I think this also works well. Due to barely saying a word in this episode, we can sort of understand he might be in shock by the events which have taken place on Ferrix. From PR and press information, we know that Coursucant is someone who is seeking validation from those above him. We even see elements of this in the first episode with the boss. However, the Empire now taking over presents a new overlord for him to impress, and likely that it's going to be someone like Dedra Meero, or the other Imperial guy, who I don't think will be in the picture much longer if Meero gets her way. Speaking of Imperials, let's talk more about the ISB. So we actually get to see the Imperial Security Bureau's headquarters on Coruscant in this episode. Something I never thought I would see in a Star Wars TV series or Star Wars at all. We get to see so many new characters from the ISB, with our perspective being from Lieutenant Dedra Meero to Major Partisag played by Anton Lesser, and even Lieutenant Belvin played by Doc Brown, which is wild to see. Also, an interesting detail, Anton Lesser's character of Major Partisag makes a point of calling him Lieutenant, which is more of an English way of saying lieutenant. Personally, I prefer the American lieutenant to the English lieutenant. Even though I am English. Look, it just sounds better in American, alright? Some of you might agree, some of you might disagree. Anyway. But I do have to say, I did enjoy seeing Doc Brown in Star Wars. After the initial shock of seeing him, some of the scenes and how he delivered his lines were amazing. Not only did we see previously just how lazy and incompetent the corporate security force of the Empire were, but now we get to see how insidious Imperial officers are. How they care about progressing in the ranks more than doing their job. Meero tries to get Blevin to cooperate, and Blevin just sees it as another Imperial trying to rise to higher in the ranks. It is interesting though how we get this really cool speech from Major Partisag about how the service the ISB does is healthcare, and they want to identify problems before they become an issue. And yet he doesn't trust Meero's gut instinct about an organised rebellion forming without evidence first. It makes sense that he's very evidence-based, but at least in this case, following that gut instinct would provide the evidence needed to ensure this doesn't become a bigger issue, and probably would have stopped the rebellion before it began, but hey ho, it's Imperials, they're dumb. Now I suppose that is a benefit of us watching and knowing where things are going, so you know, we're better than the Imperials, aren't we? I like the Imperials though. The Aldhani plotline is definitely what is being set up for the next big hurdle for Cassian to get over. Doing this impossible task of stealing the Imperial payroll of an entire sector from a garrison. They have 7, but against a garrison of 40, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, it's what I'm looking forward to. This feels very amazing, and we can have a sort of heist mission in the series. Something I enjoy watching, and having it in Star Wars is just amazing. The tension and drama is already great. Bringing a new team member 3 days before a big mission, no one being assaulted because this is a rebel cell who doesn't know who their leader truly is. It's just written in a great way. I can't wait to see Cassian and his new crew manage to pull off this heist and where it leads for the rest of the series. Overall, this episode of Andor comes out well. It has more momentum and things happening compared to the first 3 episodes. Those episodes are the starting point and had to establish the world, so it makes sense they would be slower. However, episode 4 has more to play with. We've got new characters and new locations introduced. Ultimately, episode 4 expands the world of Andor. We see the establishment of new locations, new characters, and new plot lines. But it's also expanding more of the characters already introduced. We learn more about Luthen Rael, who I personally just want to spend even more time with. Simply as Stellan Skarsgård is a fantastic actor. Actress Genevieve O'Reilly is fantastic as this incarnation of Mon Mothma. I'm sure we'll see her flourish with material in Andor and hopefully establish more of her character. While the series was initially billed as not having fan service or Easter eggs, likely about surprise cameos popping up, it has done well with references so far. Hearing mention of locations like Scarif and the species known as the Rakata works really well. They're not groundbreaking Easter eggs or references by any chance, but they do expand the world in which the show is taking place in, especially for the hardcore Star Wars fans who love this sort of stuff. That's us, by the way. Only 8 episodes of Andor remain, which is scary when you think about it. However, episode 4 has given us plenty to talk about in terms of references, plot lines, and more for the series, which is charting its own unique path in the Star Wars universe, and I can't wait to see where it actually ends up and where we go. Okay, Exalt Ones, that's it for me. What do you think of the latest episode of Andor? Does it meet your expectations, and are you happy with the series direction so far? Comment your thoughts down below in the video comment section. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can also follow us on social media as well, but please let us know what you think in the video comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. Okay everyone, that's it for myself. I've been Captain Jack here on Star Wars Now, and may the Force be with you.